Okay, so recording is started. Okay, okay. So now see, in previous session, what we have learned like, difference between, abstract class and interface, right? So in that we have covered the couple of points, right? So this is expected to you that you have to tell few of the points from this. Okay, so few important points you can, note it down and you can tell at the time of interview. Okay, if you are telling all the points, that is very good, right? Now, after that, we have learned the encapsulation as well, right? So
Sir,
encapsulation,
can we add the default point here in the difference between interface
what
and
default point?
that default method can't be used in abstract class
So see,
and
default method is only applicable for the interface. So normal class as well, it will not have a default method, right? So if you want, you can tell at the time of interview, it's not harm. But why I have not mentioned that because see, default method is only for the interface. This is not available in abstract class as well as not available in normal class as well. Okay.
okay, and no default keyword is not mentioned for the variable also. We can't
No, no, no. Default for method only.
default is only for methods, not
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
variable.
And that method should be in interface. Okay.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay. So after that, we have learned the encapsulation. Okay. So which is the fourth object-oriented concept or fourth pillar of object-oriented. Okay. Object-oriented concept. Right. Now, next point that we have super keyword. Right. So super keyword is exactly similar to your this keyword. Whatever action we can perform with the help of this keyword, similar action we can perform with the help of super. Okay, but this is referring the current class and super is referring to the parent class. Okay, so now before starting with the super, right? So let's little bit brush up the this keyword. Okay, so what is this keyword? Okay, again, this is the reference keyword which refers the current class object. What it means? Inside this, let's assume there is one object is there. Okay, and what that object is? That object is your current class object. Okay, that object, that means this is storing the current class object. This is storing the current class object. So whenever you see the this keyword, that means in that particular keyword, we are holding the current class object. We are holding the current class object. Okay, now what we have seen so far, so let me open that presentation as well. So I'll go to the Google Drive, Java Day 1, right? So here is the this keyword, right? So what we are talking about the this keyword. So this is the reference keyword, which is sorry, which is referring the current class object. So this is basically keyword which is referring the current class object or which is storing the current class object. Okay, now with the help of this, what different action we can perform? Okay, we are saying like with the help of this or this can be used to refer the current class instance variable. This can be used to refer current class instance variable. There we have seen the example like in current class, suppose we are having two variables. Okay, one is the local variable and one is the instance variable. So let's say my local variable name is a and instance variable name is also a. Okay, in that case it's quite difficult inside the method to refer the reference variable because see, whenever I'm saying a, okay, it is always pointing to the local a. Okay, so if I want to distinguish between the local variable and instance variable when both are having same name, in that case, I'm going to use the this keyword to point the instance variable. So I'll say this dot a. That means instance variable a. Okay, if name is not, unique. I mean, name is not similar or common. In that case as well, if you are using this, there is no issue. Right. Second use we have seen earlier. With the help of this, we can invoke the current class method. With the help of this keyword, we can invoke the current class method. Okay. So see guys. To call the current class method, we don't require the object. We don't require the object. Why? Because internally compiler is going to use these keywords. So we have seen this particular example as well, right? Third point, we have learned about this keyword, that with the help of this keyword we can call the current class constructor. So for example, in my current class, let's say there are two constructor available or three constructor available. So from one constructor I can call the another constructor I can call the another constructor, and this is called as the constructor chaining as well. So with the help of this keyword we can do it. Okay, we can call constructor inside the constructor with the help of this keyword. Remember guys this. If not remember, I will suggest, okay, this is very important keyword, please go through that particular recording. Okay, in that recording I have covered in detail what is meant by this keyword, how it is used and how it is applied, right? Correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Sir,
Now
similar with the constructor chaining, we have method chaining.
method chaining means, what is meant by method chaining? You can call any method inside the any method, right? So it's not called as the chaining. Okay. But typically what we say, it's not, I mean, method chaining. You can call any method inside the any method. Right.
Uh, okay,
It's not
method
method chaining.
in so what is method chaining basically?
Method
Uh,
chaining,
co-
there is no concept like a method chaining. Have you heard anywhere method chaining?
yes, sir. Someone asked. I mean, what is method chaining that I do. I mean, I don't
It's
have
they might be
much
asked,
idea.
constructor chaining. Method chaining I haven't heard so far, right? Or what I will do, I will maybe check this particular topic. But
No issue,
see,
sir.
chaining means calling one method inside the another method. Another method you are calling inside the another method. Okay.
So
So
we
this
call
might be
this is
called
a recursion calling
recursion.
method.
Recursion is a different concept. Okay. Recursion means method calling itself. So
Hmm,
method which is calling itself is called as the recursion.
right.
Okay. So recursion is a different topic.
Okay.
Okay. Now see, next topic that we have is the super keyword. Super keyword. This is a very important topic. And at the time of interview, interviewer can ask, okay, what is mean by super keyword? What is the uses of super keyword? Okay. So first of all, you have to prepare the one-liner definition of super. That is, the super is the keyword or super is the reference variable in which you can hold the current class object, or which is referring the current class object. Sorry, not current class, parent class object. Okay, so super is the reference keyword which is holding the parent class object, and this is holding the which object? Current class object. So this is the difference between super and this. Right. So this is referring the current class object. Okay, or holding the current class object. Whereas your super is holding parent class object. Which parent? Immediate parent class. Immediate parent class object it's holding. Right. So now there are three uses of this particular keyword. Okay, majorly three uses of this particular keyword. Okay, so first use is saying super is used to refer immediate parent class instance variable. It is going to refer immediate parent class instance variable. Immediate parent class instance variable. So I hope everybody knows what is meant by instance variable. What is meant by instance variable?
Class.
Yeah, perfect. So variable which is created within the class but outside the method. That particular variable is called as the instance variable. Instance variable. Okay. Now what I'm saying, super is used to refer immediate parent class instance variable. Okay. So to understand this, what we'll do, we'll create one class. Okay. what we'll do, we'll go here. So launch. Okay. Now let's say I'm creating one more package here. Okay, so let's say package name is super in Java. Okay, and inside this package, I'm creating one class. Okay, so let's say my class name is super demo. Okay, super demo. In that, I'm taking the public static void main. Okay, so see guys, I mean, I just got one point. So I want to share that particular point. So in any class or any particular file, so this is my Java file, right? So in this particular Java file, you can create only one public class. Okay, for example, I'm creating because see, previously Vipin asked me, okay, so I'm getting error here. That's the reason I'm just highlighting this point. Okay, so if I want to create one more class, so let's say class A here. Okay, so I will get the error. What is the error? Okay, public class A we modify in own file. Okay, so in this particular file, only one public class should be available because see, this is the Java file. In this Java file, I cannot make the two public classes. Okay, so one public class and other class you can make, default as well as you can make protected. That is fine, right? But public class should be only one, right? So this point you have to remember. Okay, now, for example, I'm creating one class and I'm saying this class name is A. Okay, so in this particular A class, I'm creating one instance variable and let's say my instance variable name is A is equal to 10. Okay, so I'm having value A is equal to 10. Okay, now for this particular class, I'm having one child class. So how to create the child class? So for that, I will create the child class. So I will say class B. Okay, and class B is the child class of A, right? How to make the child class of A? So I have to say extends A extend, sorry, B extends A, right? Now in this particular class as well, I'm having one variable name as A and he's having value is equal to 20. So this particular A is having value 20. Okay. Now, for example, I'm having one method and my method name is the print. Okay. Print method is there. Okay. So which is available inside the class B. Okay, now see here in the inside this method, can I access this particular variable? Yes, you can access because this particular variable is available in this particular class B itself, right? So this particular variable which is available inside class B itself, so I can easily access this particular variable here, right? Can I access this particular variable? Yes, because see we are inside the B class, right? And B is having one parent class that is the class A. So class A is the parent class of B. So whatever properties and behavior we are having in parent class, we can access those properties and behavior as it is inside the child class. So B is our child class of A. So B can directly or anytime we can access all the properties. Properties means variable, right? So this variable is available in parent class. So parent class variable I can easily access inside the this particular method. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so I'll say I want to print A. So I'll say A is equal to, I'll say A or A is equal to, let's say I will say A is equal to A. Let's say plus A. Right. Now see, if I run this particular program, what will happen? We'll see. Okay. Now I want to run this particular print method. So how to run? So I have to go to the public static void main. Okay. And there I have to create the object of class B. So how to create object of class B? So I have to say B of B is equal to new B. So this is the object of your child class. So B class means a child class. So I have created the child class object and with this object I can call this particular print method. Okay, so how to call? So I have to say B dot print, B dot print. Now this particular method will call, right? So now see, if I run this particular program, okay. So what is happening? It's printing the A is equal to 20. A is equal to 20 means this value is getting printed. This value is printed, right? But now I'm not interested in this particular value. I'm not interested in this particular value. I want to print this particular value. So is there any way to print this particular value? Because see, for example, this variable name is B. Consider this variable name is B. And now in that case, I'm saying like let's print a B. Let's print A, right? In that case, it is absolutely okay, right? It's saying like, A is equal to 10. So which value is printing now? This particular value is printing, right? But, but whenever I'm having A is equal in this class, I'm having A, and in child class as well, I'm having variable A. In that case, it's having confusion. Which A should I print? Okay. Now, this particular method will always give the preference to his own variable. His own variable means this method is currently available inside the B class. So it will give the preference to the B class variable. Because see, we have common name here as well. We have A variable, and here as well we have A variable. So in both the classes, we have common variable. In that case, there is the confusion. And in this confusion, what he will do, he will print the variable. He will print the variable which is available in own class. Okay, so for here, print is available inside the B. So it will print the B class A variable. B class A variable. So it is having value 20. All right. Now in this case, if I want to print this particular variable, okay, what I need to do? I need to use the super keyword. I need to use the super keyword. I have to say super dot a, super dot a, super dot a, right? If I run this particular program, now what will be the output? A is equal to 10. A is equal to 10. So what it means? Whenever I want, I can refer immediate parent class, immediate parent class, reference, sorry, immediate parent class instance variable. Okay, with the help of super keyword, I'm referring the immediate parent class instance variable. Okay, now this particular point is clear for everyone or not?
Yes, clear.
Okay, so most of the time, see guys, no one going to ask you write the program. Okay, how you're saying like this, right? So this is only our understanding purpose, but at least you should tell these 3 points. Okay, so people will ask, do you know three uses or do you know uses of the super keyword? So you have to tell these uses. Okay, no one going to ask you write the program. Can you write the program? Okay, how you're saying like how we can access. Or sometimes what will happen? They will give the program like this, and they will have variable A in both the classes, and they will not use the super keyword. Okay, and they will ask you what will be the output now. Right. So you have to tell the output. In this case, output will be the 20. Right? Why? Because he will first give the preference to his own variable, because we are calling here inside the B. So inside the B, this variable is available. So it will give the preference to own variable. Okay. And own variable is having value 20. So our output will be the 20 in this case. Right. But now I want to call the super class variable. I want to call the super class variable. Then what I need to do? I have to say super dot a. Sorry, super dot a. Super dot a. Now whenever I'm saying super dot a, and what I'll do, I will just select this particular variable. Okay. Now if you see which variable is highlighted here. Okay, see this particular a is not highlighted, but see this particular a is highlighted. I don't know you guys are able to see or not, but this particular variable is highlighted here. Whenever I'm selecting this particular variable is highlighted, right? So that means it's referring to this particular variable. Okay, if this is clear, then let's go to the next example. Okay, so what I will do now, Okay.
Sir, we have to write like that super dot a or a dot super. We cannot write like a dot super,
So
right?
see, Java is very strict about the syntax. So a dot super, it will give the error. Okay, you have to say super dot a.
Okay,
Okay, Java is very strict about the syntax.
right.
Okay, if you miss a little bit as well, it will give the error. Okay, so you have to say super dot a. Proper syntax is super dot a. Okay,
Yes,
now class C extends B. Now, which type of inheritance is this?
Multi-level.
Yeah, this
yes.
is multi-level
Multi-level.
inheritance. Okay, now I'm having one more a variable. Okay, and this print method is available inside the C. Consider this particular print method is available inside the C. Okay, now first thing, right? Whenever I'm saying print a, I'm not using the super keyword here. So what will be the output?
30.
30.
30.
30. Perfect. 30 will be the output, right? So if I run this, what happens? See, we are using the b.print method and b print method is not available. So we have to create the object of which class?
C.
Class C, right? C of C. Because C, B is not aware of, print method. Here, B class is not aware of print method. Why? Because print method is available inside the class B is having their own child. Right. So in that child class, this method is available. So you have to create this particular child class object. How to create the child class object, that C class object? So you have to say C is equal to, or C of C is equal to new C. Okay, so this is the object of C. Now I have to say C dot print, right? C dot print. Now if I run the this particular program, so as you say, output will be the 30. So it's printing the 30. Okay, now this is fine, right? But now if I say super, sorry, super dot A. Now what will be the output?
20.
Are you sure? 20.
20.
Everyone
Because
is
it is an
sure?
immediate parent here.
Why not
Yes.
10?
Because it will call the immediate parent, and immediate parent
Exactly.
of C is
Exactly.
B.
So immediate word I'm using everywhere. Immediate word I'm using everywhere. Right? What is mean by immediate? Okay. So for this particular C, immediate parent class is B. For this particular B, immediate parent class is A. Okay, so tomorrow if I'm having one more child class for the C, so for that, let's say that class is the D. For the D class, immediate parent class is the C, right? So you have to understand, okay, so immediate parent class is which one, right? So in this case, immediate parent class is this one, right? So our output will be the what? 20. It's giving the output 20, right? So you have to take care of this thing, okay? So at the time of interview, interviewer can give this kind of example and he will ask you what will be the output now. Don't say A is equal to 10. Okay, so you have to understand which is the immediate parent class. Okay, so super is going to refer for that particular parent class. Okay, so now see guys, for example, I am having here, okay, in let's say B is equal to, let's say, for example, 100. Okay, then here as well, I'm having, or maybe, for example, I'm not having B here, or maybe I'm having B is equal to 100 here, or B is equal to, let's say, 200 here, right? Into B. Into B is equal to 200 here. Okay. Uh, or let's consider here A is not there. Okay. Now, for example, I want to call this particular B. How you are going to call? So for example, here I want to print B. How you are going to print? B is equal to
B,
Super
plus.
dot B.
because there is no
No, we can
variable
call
in that C class.
directly.
Okay.
So just B,
So
if you say the B also, it will get 200 result.
okay. So you are saying like if you say only B, it will print the 200.
Yeah,
Correct?
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because there is
Why
no
why
variable
we are
in that
not using
C.
super here?
Because there is no variable B in the C.
Right. So we can say there
Yeah.
is no confusion. Whenever you are saying B, so it will first of all look in this particular class, B variable is available or not. Because we are inside the class C, right? So in class C, it will look, is there any B variable available or not? So B variable is not available. So in that case, what it will do? It will check the B variable available here or not. So B variable is available here. So what it will do? It will print the that particular variable value. So now this particular variable value is how much? When 200, right? So it will
200.
print the 200. It will print the 200. Okay. Now, for example, I'm having here as well one B variable, right? So in that case, what will be the value? Now it will print. Any guesses? Now see, I'm having B in class A. I'm having B in class B. Okay, but not in class C. What will be the output?
200
B
maybe.
is equal to 200, right?
200.
Why?
Yeah.
Because see, it will
Be-
search B is available here or not. So B is available here. So it will not go for the parent, right? So it will print this one only. Okay, but here point you have to understand is with the help of super keyword, we can refer or we can point, okay, immediate parent class, instance variable, immediate parent class, instance variable, we can refer. Okay, clear? So here as well, if I say super, or for example, consider this B is not there. Okay, for confusion point of view, I'm just removing it. Okay, otherwise you will get confused. So I'm just removing it. And let's assume that B is available inside the B class, right? And if I'm saying, see, this way as well, it is perfectly printing fine. Okay, so this particular value is printing, right? If I run it again, if you see, B is equal to 200 is printing. Okay, but if I say super dot B, super dot B, if I'm saying super dot B, in that case as well, it is perfectly fine.
200. It
It
will
is
print
printing the 200. All right. So what it means, with the help of super, I can refer the immediate parent class variable, instance variable. Okay. Whether it is available in our own class or not. Okay. So use of super is to refer the immediate parent class instance variable. To refer the immediate parent class instance variable. So this is clear. So this is the point number one, or use number one. Okay, use number one is clear for everyone.
Sir,
Alisha.
yes, sir.
I'm having,
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yes, Saurabh.
yes, sir. I just having a doubt regarding that. If we have the uh, uh, both both places like the class B and class A also B integer B value. So and also the in the child also we have the B. Then how it will work if we want to call it uh, call
Okay,
in from
okay.
the A.
So see, I'm having B variable here as well. So let's say this particular B is printing 300. Right.
In
So
grandparent also.
grandparent as well. Okay. Grandparent, let's say it's printing it's having value of B is equal to 100. 100, 200, and 300. Okay. So in class A, value of B is 100. Class B, value of B is 200. And class C, value of B is equal to 300. Right.
Yeah.
So for example, suppose I'm not using super here. Scenario number one. Suppose I'm not using super here. So in that case, what will be the output? What do you
It
what
will
do you
be
think?
local 300. It will be print.
Right. So it will print the, it's not local variable. This is the instance variable only. Okay,
Yeah.
but it is in current class. Okay, so what
Yes.
it will do? It will print the current class B variable. It will print the current class B variable. Right. So let's run it and we'll see. Let's run it and we'll see which one it's printing. Okay, it's printing this one. Right. Now, now see if I'm using super here. So I'm saying super dot B, super dot B. Right. So in that case, which one it will print?
200 B
200
class.
will be print, right? Because super is going to refer the immediate parent class instance variable. And for this C, immediate parent class is which one? P is immediate parent class for the C, right? So it is going to print the class C, sorry, class B, B variable. Okay, so value of B is equal to 200 in this case. See, value of B is a 200 in this case. Clear? So see, grandparent it is not going to consider. But in this class, if I say like super dot b, in that case it's going to print this one. So if I'm having one more method available inside this particular class, and in that case, if I'm saying super dot b, so it is going to print this particular variable. But here, if I'm saying super dot b, in that case, it is going to print the this particular variable. Clear, Saurabh?
Means sir, we cannot call with the help of the child directly the grandparent.
See, your requirement is you want to call this particular variable, right?
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes.
Okay, so I don't think you can directly call this particular variable from here because first of all, it will give the preference for this. Okay, and then um, it will not. I mean, this particular variable is not available here because first of all, this particular variable is available with the help of super. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, Hello,
Hmm.
sir. Super is a keyword. So super is a class. I mean these keywords in Java.
Sorry.
Any super the keyword. These are any class defined, predefined, uh,
No, no, these are the
like that.
keywords. No, no, these are the keywords in Java. See, in Java, there are few reserved keywords available. Right. So you can say these super, extend, class, these are the keywords available. Void is as well keywords available in Java. Okay, so if you see, this is the purple color, right? Right. So whatever available in this purple color, this is called as the uh, keywords. All right. So these are the keywords available in Java. Okay, reserved keyword. You cannot make class with this particular reserve keyword, or it's not available. It will give the error if you are creating the class with this name,
But
right?
they have some implementation sometimes that the super will do like that and class will do like that. So that's why I'm asking because
No,
it
no, no,
will
no. This is
invoke
the
the
reserve
parent
keyword
class.
and it's having its. So see, if I'm saying wide, right? So if it is wide, in that case, your compiler is going to understand this method is not going to return anything. Right. Similarly, if you are having super and this super is you are using for the variable, so compiler immediately going to understand you are talking about the super class or parent class B variable, parent class A variable when you are using super. Okay. So it's having their own meaning. Okay. But no, I mean, this particular is not sure for this is not classes. Super is not a class.
Right.
Right. This is, see, whenever we are creating the class, we are taking care of one thing. What is that? Okay, we are creating the class is always in capital. If you see here as well, I'm saying super. Okay, so this is the first word. Then second word as well, I'm starting with the capital one. Right. In Java as well, they have practice. They are following this particular practice. Okay, so this is called as the camel case, right? So not camel case. So this is called as the which case? I just forgot. Camel case means first letter is small, then other letters are other subsequent letter are capital one. This is I just forgot. I'll tell you. Okay, but if you see this particular class should be start with the capital one, right? If you see the super is not starting with the capital, right? So you can blindly say super is not a class. If you see, I mean something with starting with the capital letter, for example, system, right? So system is starting with the capital letter. So surely we can say system is a class available in Java. Okay, if I go here, okay, so see, system is a class here available in Java. Right, so this is the system
Yes,
class.
sir.
Sorry, this is the system class. Clear?
Yes, sir.
But super is not a class. Super is the keyword, or we can say the reserve keyword in Java.
Fine, sir.
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, now this is the first use of your super keyword. Okay, next keyword that we have is the with the help of super we can call the immediate parent class method. With the help of super keyword we can call the immediate parent class method. Immediate parent class method we can call with the help of super keyword. Okay, so for example, let's take the same example, this particular example, right? And what I'm saying here, okay, I'm having one method, print method available here. Okay, print method available, and basically this method is printing one message. So for example, this method is saying like, system dot out dot println. Okay, and it's saying like, this is class B print method. Simple message I have added here. Okay, what is the message? This is the class B print method. This is the class B print method, right? And for example, I'm having one more method. So let's say my method name is void m, void m method. And in this particular void m method, what I want to call, I want to call this particular print method. I want to call this particular print method. Okay, so how I'm going to call this particular print method inside the this particular B method? Simple, you have to say print. Simple, you have to say the print. And this is how I can call. Okay, so you might be wonder how I'm calling this particular method. I'm not creating any object. I'm not creating anything right here, right? But still, this method I'm able to call it, right? Okay, if I try to run this, it will run perfectly fine. So instead of print, what I will say print m, method m. I want to print. Okay, with the help of class C object, I want to print the method m. Right. So in that m method, we are calling the print method of b. Right. So what will happen? Your execution start with this particular main class. So you're in main class, you are creating the object. Okay, then we are calling the method m. So your call will be transferred here, method m, class C m method, right? So in that case, you're in method m, you are calling the print method. So your call will transfer to the print method. Okay. Now in this particular print method, you're calling this particular message. You're printing this particular message, right? So this particular message will get printed, right? And this is absolutely okay. This is absolutely fine, right? But see, guys, I am overriding. For example, I am overriding this method. Okay, so how to override this particular method? What is meant by overriding?
Same method name, signature and different
Okay,
Signature and
implementation.
yeah,
everything is
same.
same, right? So same method, same signature. Method name is same. Method signature is same. Okay, signature means return type and parameter. Return types and parameter. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll just try to override this particular method. So I'll just copy paste it. Okay. I'll just copy paste this particular method, and here I will say system.out.println, and I'm adding here one message. This is class C print print method. Class C print method is this. Okay. Now if you see green triangle is coming, that means overriding is happen. Overriding is happen. Okay. Now I am saying like void print here. Now in this case, what will be the output? Which method will call, this one or this one? Okay, there are
Class
two print
C
method available, right?
B
Which one,
print.
which print method will call?
the object for that we have created.
Tell me, class B print method will call or class C print method will call? In class B as well, we are having one print method, and in class C as well, we are having one print method. So which print method will call?
Class C.
Class B.
Okay, any other? Anyone? Any thoughts? Okay, so we got the answer that class B or class C. Two answer we got, right? So see guys, here I'm directly calling the print method. I'm calling the print method. All right. In that case, what it will do, where I'm calling the print method. So see, inside the C class, I'm having M method, and inside that M method, I'm calling the print method. All right. So I'm not using super here. Okay. So in that case, what it is going to do, it is going to look for the print method in same class. It will check the print method available in same class or not. So print method is available in same class itself. Right. Print method is available inside the same class itself. Right. Inside the C, because see, this M method is available in C class, and in this M method, we are calling the print method. So in this case, this particular print method is going to call. Right. If I run this, which print method is calling? Class C print method is going to call. Class C print method is going to call. Now, if I want to run the print method of class B, in that case, I should say super. So I'll say super dot print, super dot print. Now, if I run this particular program, then what will happen? Then it will call the class B uh, print method. This will call the class B print method. Okay. Now here I can say like, can I say like, super is used to call immediate parent class method,
Yes, sir.
right? Super is used to call the immediate parent class method. Okay. So guys, here why I need to use the super keyword, because see, in my current class as well, there is one print method, and my parent class as well in print method is available. Okay, so if I'm having current class print method, so it will always going to give the preference to this class print method, current class print method. So how I can call the super class print method? So for that, you have to use the super keyword here, super dot print method. So see guys, for example, I'm having one method available here. Okay, so for example, my method name is void m2 method is there, right? So I will say this is the m2 method, system.out.println m2. Okay, m2 method is available, right? Now see, if I want to print this, if I want to call this particular m2 method inside this particular, all right? So in that case, I can use like, directly m2, I can call like this, because see, m method is not overridden. So in this class, sorry, it's m2, right? M2. So see, in this class, is in this particular C class, M2 method is not available. Okay, so there is no confusion. Okay, what it will do? It will go for the super class and it will check M2 method is available here or not. M2 method is available here or not. So M2 method is available here. So it is directly call this particular M2 method. Okay, but if I say like this, super dot M2, super dot M2, which is absolutely fine. Okay, so here what we understood with the help of super keyword. So here actually super is not required. Here super is not required. By default, it will understand, okay, M2 method is not available in this particular class. Then it will go for the parent class of this particular class. So if super, for example, if this M2 method here as well not available, in that case, it will look for this particular class. If it is available here, it will just print it. Okay, but in our scenario, this M2 method is available here itself, right? So what it will do, it will print this particular method only, right? So with the help of super keyword, with the help of super keyword, we can call the we can call the immediate parent class method. We can call the immediate parent class method. Correct?
Sir,
Any
M2
confusion
is a
here?
M2 is a default method here, right?
Default method we
Actually,
can call inside
some
the only
some
interface, right? So interface is finished, default method
yes,
is
sir.
finished.
Sorry,
So default method here we cannot we are not going to create. So this is not a default method.
this is
This is
public.
not a default method. This is our normal instance method. So this method is called as an instance method. So inside the class, we can have a 7 member. We have learned earlier, right? Which are those 7 members?
Instance variable, instance method, static variable, static method, block, instance block, and static block and constructor.
Exactly. Right. So we can have instance variable, static variable. We can have instance method. We can have static method. We can have static block. We can have instance block, and we can have a constructor. Right. So only these 7 members are allowed. So have you have I talked about default method? Have I talked about the other kind of method? No. So default method is only with the your interface. So now interface is finished. Here onward, we are not going to talk about the default method. Okay?
Okay, okay. I mean, the scope of this method is only within the class, so we call this
No,
is
not the
instance
scope
method.
of this particular method is within the package because this is the having access modifier as a default. So this method is not a default method. This method is having access modifier as a default. Okay, so we have 4 access modifier. What are those? Private, protected, default, and then public. So these are the 4 access modifier. In this 4 access modifier, if I'm not giving the access modifier, then by default access modifier is the default access modifier. But it doesn't mean this particular method is called as the default method. So this is not default method. This is having access modifier as a default.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. So access modify default is different and default method is different.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Default method we will have only in functional interface.
Right.
That's it.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now, so this is the second use of constructor. What is the second use? Sorry, not constructor, super keyword. So what is the second use of super keyword? So you can call the immediate parent class method. Simple. Don't get confused. Okay. Uh, why I shown here in this particular overriding example? Because see, you should know the exact scenario why it came in picture. This particular super keyword came in picture, right? So normal way I can call directly any method directly. Suppose if it is not having any overridden method, in that case I can call directly normally without super keyword and it will call absolutely fine, right? But if there is confusion, if there is this particular whatever method you are trying to call, this is available in your current class as well as parent class. In that case, it will always going to give the preference here. So in that case, super is useful. So we can use the super keyword, and super keyword is going to call the that particular method. But in general, we can say super with the help of super keyword, you can call any method from the immediate parent class. Any method from the immediate parent class. With the help of super, we can call any method from the immediate parent class. Okay. So this is the point number 2 or use number 2. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, third use of this keyword. Okay, so other people as well, you have to tell, okay, you are getting this concept or not. You are getting some difficulty, some issues, right? So you have to tell me, right? So now next use of this keyword, super keyword, is the with the help of super keyword, you can call the immediate parent class constructor. Immediate parent class constructor. Okay, you can call the immediate parent class constructor. Now take the same example. Okay, so in this particular example, I'm going to remove, I'm going to keep the methods only. Okay, I'm going to remove the methods. Okay, because this is not required me now. I'll remove this everything. Okay, now we are having three class. Okay, so first class is the A class, which is the grandparent. Second class we are having B class, which is the child class of A. And then third class we are having C class, which is the child class of your B class. Child class of your B class. Okay, right? So this is the multi-level inheritance here. Multi-level inheritance is here. Right. Now see guys, I want to create the constructor of A. How to create the constructor of A?
With the class name.
Right. So I will say class A constructor, and I'll say system dot out dot print 0 args constructor. 0 arg constructor is there. Right. So class A 0 arg constructor I have created. Okay. Similarly, class B 0 arg constructor I will create. Okay. I will say here class A 0 arg constructor. Okay. So I'll copy paste this particular constructor here. Okay. And I'll say class B. Okay. And here as well, I'll modify the class B 0 arg constructor. Okay. So now what we did in class A, we have created one constructor, and class B as well, we have created one constructor. Similarly, what I will do in class C as well, I will create one constructor. Okay. So every class I have created one constructor. All right. So I will give the message, similar message I will give. Okay. I will say class C 0 argument constructor, 0 argument constructor. All right. So now what I will do, I'll create the object of class C. Okay, so this is the object of class C. Now, if I run this particular program, what will be the output?
C.
Hmm?
It will call the C
Class C
Right.
because
0
we are
So C
creating
class
the
argument.
constructor
object
it
of
will
the
call.
C. We are
So it
creating
will
the
print
object of
basically
C.
this message, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We are creating the object of C.
Yes, exactly. We are creating the object of class C.
C.
So it is going to call the class C constructor, correct?
Mhm.
Right or
Yes.
wrong? Right. But see guys, if I run this particular program, you have to observe the output.
All three.
Okay, so
All
output
three.
is It is printing the all three constructor. How? Okay, so to understand this, you have to understand what is meant by
Okay.
super keyword. Right. And what is the use of super keyword and how to call the constructor with the help of super keyword. Okay, so basically I'm creating the object of class C. Okay, now for example, in this B class, in this particular B class, I'm having one more constructor. Okay, so for example, this is the second constructor, and in this particular constructor, I'm having argument 10. Sorry, I'm having one argument. So I'm saying class B one argument constructor, class B one argument constructor. Okay, so this is the one more constructor that I have created in class B, right? So now what is the use of super keyword? So with the help of super keyword, we can call any constructor available inside your super class, that is your immediate parent class, right? So I can say super super of 10, let's say. Okay, super of 10. Okay, now in this case, what will be the output? Okay, so in this case, what will happen? Okay, so it is going to create the constructor of which class? So in this case, object of which class? C class object. So that means we are calling the constructor of C class. Okay, so what will happen? Your control will transfer to here. Your control will transfer to here and it will call the super.10. Super.10 means it will look for the class B. Okay, because see, super means immediate parent class, right? So it will go to the immediate parent class and in that particular parent class, it will look for the constructor which is having one argument. So this particular constructor is having zero argument, so it will not take a consideration. This particular constructor is having one argument, that is the one integer argument, because we have called the one integer argument, right? We are calling the constructor which is having one integer argument. So this particular constructor will take in consideration and it will execute this particular constructor. Now what will be the output? So first of all, it will print this particular message because see, as soon as C constructor execution started, we are saying super.10. Okay, so your control will transfer here. It will execute this particular constructor. Okay, so as soon as execution is done, control will transfer again here, right? After that, it will print this particular line, right? So now in this case, what will be the output? Okay, so output will be the class B one argument constructor and class C zero argument constructor. So these two lines
So
he is going to print.
it won't call A now.
It
Class
will not
A.
call A. It will not call it. Sorry, it's calling the A as well. So class A zero argument constructor as well calling. Okay. Okay. Just a minute. What I'm thinking. Suppose, for example, I'm here. Int A. I'm creating one more constructor here, and this particular constructor is the one argument class A constructor, right? And if I'm calling here, for example, B dot 10, or sorry, super dot 10, not B dot 10, super dot 10. So in that case, B class default constructor will not call, right? But here in this case, it will call. Okay, so I was wrong. Okay, so now in this case, it is not going to call the default constructor. So see, class A one argument constructor. Why class A one argument constructor is called? Okay, so before that, what we just don't be confused. Okay, so first of all, what we understood. Okay, take the consideration only these two class. Okay, these two class. Okay, so class B and class A. So in class A, we have two constructor. Okay, so now here what I'm saying, when control will transfer here, I'm calling the super class constructor with the help of super. Okay, for the super I'm passing the only one argument, that is the one integer parameter. So it will go to this particular class and it will check, is there any constructor which is having only one integer argument. So here this particular is having only one argument. So it will call this particular constructor. This will call this particular constructor. So this is the use of super keyword. So this is clear for everyone. Key, it is going to call, okay, super is going to call immediate superclass constructor, immediate superclass constructor. This is clear for everyone. How to call the, so guys, here there is one
Hello.
restrictions as well. Okay, so this particular line
Yeah.
or this particular statement should not be other line. Okay, that means this particular statement always should be first line inside your constructor. The same thing we have learned while learn at the time
This
of this
this
keyword,
keyword.
right?
So it's
So
it's
this
making
particular
the
line should be the
chain.
first
It,
line.
so Ajay, it's making the chain.
Yeah, it's making the chain, but I will tell you why it's making the chain. Okay.
Sir,
uh
when we have not used any super keyword before at the
mhm,
first time, so we have created the object of class
C
C.
class, and it's calling the all the three constructor, right?
So all default constructor will be called class value
Right,
C.
right. So why it's calling, I'll tell you. Okay, so first scenario that we have talked about. Okay, I'll remove this. I'll remove this as well. Okay, and I'll remove the super keyword here as well. Okay, now in this case, whenever I run the program, what is happening here? It is running all the, so see, initially it's calling the class A constructor, then class B constructor, then class C constructor. Whereas what we are doing, we're creating the constructor of C class C. So what we are expecting, so it should be called this particular constructor only, but it's not calling this particular constructor. Or we can say that this particular constructor is calling, but it is calling at last only. Right. Why? Because see, whenever we are going to create the object, okay, so it will call the class C constructor. Okay, so it will come here and it will call this particular constructor. But in this particular constructor, there is one implementation, that is the super super added here by default, whether you are
By
not adding or not.
default, yeah, by default,
Okay,
compiler is doing that means.
correct. By default, compiler is going to add this particular statement here on line number 26. Okay, now what will happen inside the C? We are saying like, super. Okay, so what is the super constructor of this particular C? So it will go to the B class and it will check this is the constructor. But again, in this constructor, there is one keyword is available, that is the super. Okay, because see, for this particular class, there is one super class is available. So it will call the super class constructor. That means this class constructor. Okay, but in this particular class as well, there is one super class available. That is the parent class available. So it will add the super keyword here as well. Okay, now it will go to here, but for this A, there is no parent class available. So it will not add the super here. Okay, whereas if you write try to like this super of A. Okay, it's not giving any error. But see, guys, for the A, we don't have any super class, right? So it will not having any meaning. So here in this particular line, it is not going to have the super keyword, right? But see, whenever you compile this particular program, compiler is by default going to add the super keyword here. He's going to add the super keyword here, and he's going to here it is not required, so it will not add here. Okay, but if I run this particular program, it will produce the similar output. Okay, so similar output is produced. Right. So tomorrow I don't want to run it. I don't want this particular sequence. Okay, I don't want to run the constructor in this sequence. Right. So what I will do, I'll create one more constructor here. I'll create one more constructor here. So let's say my constructor name is B, and in that I'm having two parameter or one parameter. Let's say one parameter is there. So let's say A. Okay. Now here I'll change the sequence. How to change? So I will say call, instead of calling the default constructor, call this particular constructor. Which constructor? This particular constructor I'll call. Okay, so I'm calling this particular constructor. So in this constructor, tomorrow if I want to call the another constructor. So for example, I want to call the two argument constructor. Right. So I'll say here I will create the two argument constructor. So let's say int a comma int b. This is how many argument constructor? This is the two argument constructor. So I will say class A two argument constructor. This is the class A one argument constructor. Okay. Now what will be the output in this case? How it is going to run your program? How it is going to run your program? Okay, so it will create the object of class C. So definitely it is going to call the class C constructor. So where is class C constructor is available? So class C constructor is available here. Inside the class C constructor, what we are calling?
B.
Class B
um,
one
Yeah, one
argument constructor.
argument.
So it will check, this is the zero argument constructor and this is the one argument constructor. Okay, so we are passing one argument here for the super. That means one argument constructor will get called. So this particular constructor will get called. Okay, now here we are saying super, and we are not passing any argument. That means this particular constructor is going to call. But if I want to call this particular constructor, in that case, what I need to say? I need
We
to
have to
say
pass
super, you have to
pass
pass
two
the two
argument
values.
values.
Okay, and then it will call this particular constructor. If I pass only one value, what will happen? For this super particular inside the B class, I am using the super keyword and
There
I'm
is no
passing the
one argument constructor in the A.
right. So there is no one
It will
argument
give
constructor is
error.
there. So it will give the compile time
Like an
error.
error.
Correct. So now in this case, what will be the output? Okay, so C class constructor is called, but here we are calling the super. So it will go to the here, right? And here, for example, here, example, I'm calling this particular constructor. Inside this one argument constructor, I'm calling the two argument constructor of class A. Okay, so from here it will jump because this is the first line, right? So whenever this particular line is executed, so it will go inside the class A, and class A it will search the constructor which is having two argument. So this particular constructor is having two argument. So first line, what it will print? Class A two argument constructor. Class A two argument constructor. Now once this execution of constructor is finished, it will return to the calling party. So who called this particular constructor? So this particular B class constructor called, right? So it will finish execution of this one and it will print this particular line. So now second line it's going to print class B one argument constructor. Now when this execution is finished, so it will again return to the calling party. So who called this particular constructor? Class C constructor, right? So it will print this particular line. Okay, so now your output is class A two argument constructor, class B one argument constructor, and class C zero argument constructor. So this is how you can manage execution of any constructor. You can control the any constructor. Clear? Clear or not? This particular topic.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, clear, sir. But if we write super in class B and the default constructor we have not defined in class A, so it will search for the default constructor, but that is not
Okay, so in
available.
class A, you don't have default constructor. Okay,
Uh, Yes.
and inside the class B, what is the error here?
We
Super constructor A is undefined. So let me check what is the error here. So implicitly super constructor A is defined must be explicitly invoke another constructor. Okay. So here what you are saying. So for example, I'm having super of default. Right, it's giving the error. What is the error? Class A is undefined. That, sorry, not constructor A is undefined. Constructor A is undefined. Okay, so it's saying like, in this particular class, there is no constructor available. In A class, there is no constructor. That is the default constructor is not available.
If we pass the value, the error will go away. Like super, if we pass the value of two
10,
two variables, 10 and 20
and
like that,
yeah, so error is
the
gone.
is gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what is the first use of super keyword?
But Java added one default constructor itself. So
No, no.
if
Java
we
is having
haven't
a default
done
constructor, but how you are going to call that particular default constructor? Right, Java will call that particular default constructor, but it's not allowed to you. Okay, because you are saying like, I want to call their default constructor and you haven't implemented that default constructor, right? So for you, it will give the error. Okay, so compulsory, if you want to call the default constructor by super keyword, you should have the default constructor available here. That is the zero argument constructor available here. Okay,
so if
so
we
here
comment, yes sir, if we comment line number 23, still it will give error.
line number 23,
Yes, the super, if we comment
yeah,
this,
till it will give the error.
and why so?
Okay, because see what it is doing, implicitly super, okay, implicitly super constructor A is undefined. So it's saying like, in this particular, what I said earlier, if you are not adding the super keyword, by default, who is going to add the super keyword?
Yes,
Compiler.
compiler.
Compiler is going to
Yeah,
add the super keyword. So that's the reason, if you are adding or not adding, that doesn't matter. Compiler is going to add here one statement, super.
So
Super
in
statement.
this way, we have to create one constructor in
Right. So
A
if you are
class.
creating one
In
constructor here, you have to create
we
the
have to create the
similar
one
kind of
constructor in
constructor
class.
here as well.
Yeah.
so either we have to remove this default constructor to remove this error. Uh,
All right. All right. Either you have to
one
remove this
argument.
default constructor, or internally you have to call the parameterized constructor here, or you can call the parameterized constructor here.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir. Okay,
If we
sir.
don't want to pass any values in the B class, so we have to create one default constructor in A class, like a zero argument constructor.
Correct.
Then it won't create and give any error.
Correct.
Yep, got it.
Okay. So what about others? This is clear or this is confusing? Okay. Vajra is clear. Mronal is clear. Um, Shivan is clear. Alicia is clear. Right. Saurabh, you there or being multitasking? Okay. Saurabh
Yes,
is
sir,
clear.
clear.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. Now we are done with the super keyword. Right. So next keyword that we have is the final keyword. Okay. So now if someone, this is also important keyword and people will ask at the time of interview, do you know final keyword? Do you know final keyword? Okay. And someone asks you what is mean by final keyword. So one liner definition you have to tell. Final is the keyword available in Java. It is mainly used to restrict the user. It is mainly used to restrict the user. Okay. Now there are three uses of this particular keyword. Okay. So first use is the variable level. So on different level, you can apply this particular final keyword. On different level, you can apply this particular keyword. So first level, you can apply this particular keyword, that is the variable level. Okay, so variable level, if you apply this particular the particular keyword, that means you are not allowed to change the variable value. It is not allowing you to change that particular variable value. If you're try to change that particular variable value, it will immediately give the error. So let's try it. Okay, so I will create one um, package with the name of final. Okay, so I'll go here. I'll say package final in Java. Okay, so in that package, let's say I'm creating one class. Let's say this is the demo final. Okay, it's having public static void main. Okay, so for example, suppose I'm having some variable as a final. Okay, so for example, I'm having final a is equal to 20, final int a, right? So final int a is equal to 20, right? Suppose I'm having this particular variable value as a 20. All right. And for example, if I'm having one method, so let's say my method name is void m. Void m is my method name. Okay. And in this method, what I'm doing, I'm saying like, a is equal to, let's say 30. A is equal to 30. So immediately, so see, value of a I have defined as a 20, right? And in this particular method, I'm saying a is equal to 30. So immediately I'm getting the error. So what is the error? Final field, okay, demo final dot a cannot be modified, cannot be assigned. Sorry, not modified, cannot be assigned. So you have assigned already value for the a, and which is final. You cannot change it. Okay, so first conclusion is that if you are applying the final at variable level, so that means the particular variable value you cannot be modified. So final we have seen earlier multiple times. First thing, like in case of interface, right? So interface variable is by default what? Public static final. Interface variable is by default public static and final. Right. So final means there as well you cannot modify the value. Final means you cannot modify the value. So this is the point number one. This is clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
right. So this is
Yes.
the first use variable level. You can use the final. Okay. Now we can use the method level as well. Final for any method. If you see the final, don't surprise. Right. So for method as well, we can make a final. Okay. So now what it means? If you are applying the final at method level. Okay. What it means? That means we are restricting that method from overriding. Now, what is overriding? Overriding means in parent child class, if you are having one method which is having same argument or same signature, same method name, in that case, we are going to call that particular method is the overrided. Okay, so let's take this particular example. For this, I need to create the two classes, one parent class and one child class. Right, so I'll just remove this particular method quickly, or I'll keep as it is. Okay, what I will do, I'll create one class. Okay, so I'll say int, sorry, uh, class A. This is my parent class. Okay. And in this particular class, let's say I'm having one method. Okay. So for example, print method is there. Void print method is there. Okay. For example, this particular method, I'm taking one parameter. Okay. Just to check, you having clear understanding of overriding or not. Okay. So let's say I'm saying like, A is equal to, or sorry, in this particular method, I'm just printing this is print method. Okay, this is the print method. Okay, now I'm having class B. Class B. So method overriding is always happening in parent child class, right? So I'm creating one child class of A, that is the class B. I'm saying class B extends A. So now officially class B is now child class of A, right? So how to override the method?
with the
How to
same
override this
name,
particular method?
method name and
Same
same
method,
signature.
Yeah,
argument,
tell me what I need to do
Argument
here. Void
void print int.
int a,
print
int a,
int
parenthesis.
a. Okay, so this is called as the overriding. Suppose if I'm saying like this int a, instead of a, if I say b, then it is overriding or not?
Yes,
This is overriding, right? So doesn't matter what variable value, because say here what we would have to say, want in parameter, here as well want int parameter. So don't confuse. Okay, if I change here instead of a, if I say b, right? So here we have to check only one int parameter is required here, one int parameter here as well required. Okay, it will not check the variable value. So see, method overloading is doing here. This is called as the method overriding, not overloading, method overriding. Okay, so method overriding is happening here. But what I said, if you want to restrict the overriding, if you want to restrict the overriding, okay, in some cases it will require for the security purpose if you don't want to override any particular method, right? So in that case, what you are going to do, you are going to make this particular method as a final. This particular method as a final. So as soon as if I make this particular method as a final, I'm getting one error. What error is there? Okay, so it's saying like, cannot override the final method from A. Okay, so this particular method is already final method. This particular method is already final method. So final method you cannot override. Final method you cannot override. So this is the point number 2, or uses number 2. Uses number 2 of final. Okay, now what is the uses number 3 of final? Okay, you can apply the final at the class level. So what it means, if you are applying the final at the class level, means if you apply the final at the class level, that means you cannot override. Sorry, you cannot extend that particular class. That means you cannot inherit that particular class. So for example, if you are applying the final at the class level, so it is not possible to create the subclass or child class of that particular class, right? So in this particular example, if you see, this particular A is having one child class, that is the B class. Okay, but I don't want, like, class A should have any child class. Okay, this is my requirement. Might be security purpose. I don't want to, make any child class of this particular class A. Right. So in that case, I want to add the restrictions. Right. So how to add the restrictions? So in that case, I have to say here final. In that case, I have to say here final. So as soon as I'm making this particular class A as a final, right? So in that case, immediately I'm getting the error here. What is the error? So class B cannot be subclass the final class A. That means what it is saying, class A is final class. Class A is the final class. And for this final class, you cannot create the subclass. It is not allowed. It is not allowed. Right. So this is the uses number 3. Now any confusion here?
no.
Just need to know what is the difference between the final and constant in terms of the variable.
So see, constant we don't have here in Java. Okay, constant maybe we use in case of C, C++, right? So you have heard about there, right?
I think I have learned it in the JavaScript maybe.
Yeah, in JavaScript we have const keyword,
Yeah.
right?
Thank you.
Sir, in which case we make our method final and class final? Any
Right. So as I
example?
said, like, there are many security reasons, right? So for example, if you are allowing someone to, create the or override particular method, that means what overriding basically do? It will add the additional functionality for the existing method. So existing method is there. and if I want to add the additional functionality for that particular method. But for the security purpose, I don't want to, make that particular method as a overridable. So in that case, you can going to make that particular method as a final. Similarly for the extend as well. So if you are extending any class, okay, or if you are creating child class of any class, so in that case, child class is going to access all the properties and behavior. But I don't want, see, for example, if you are having account number or account as a class, so in that case, do you want to share that particular account with anyone? Or suppose, for example, tomorrow if I got the code for that particular bank application, what I'm going to do, I'm going to, extend that particular class, which is class. So for example, account class, I'm going to extend. And what I will do, I will create the child class of that particular class. And what I'm going to do, I will write some method in that particular, or I will override that particular withdraw balance method. And what I will do, I'll add my account number and I'll transfer balance there. Right. So this is the security threat, right? In such a scenario, better if your class is very much sensitive, if your method is very much sensitive. Okay, so better to, make that particular method as a final. Make that particular class as a final if it is very sensitive.
Okay,
Okay,
sir. For security reason, we have encapsulation and final keyword in
right.
code. Okay.
Okay. Now, last 2 points that I have to cover with respect to final. Okay, so if you don't mind, I'll just cover it. Okay, so question might be asked, okay, is final method inherited? Is final method inherited? What is the answer? Is it possible to inherit the final method, or is it final method inherited?
No.
Yes, sir. Because
Yes.
class is not a final, so we can inherit the method
Right. So
final.
inherit, don't confuse inherit and overriding. Though both are different things. Overriding means parent is having one method and similar method is available in child class. This is called as the override. Right. But for example, if I'm having some method as a final method, so I can access that method here in child class. For example, system.out.println. I can access it here. Where? So I'll say I'm having one more method available as, let's say, print method is available, or maybe I'll give the different name. M method is available here. In this particular M method, I can access what? I can access the I can access the which method? So let me remove this one. Okay. Okay. So if I want, I can call print method here. How I can call? I can call like this. Okay. So see, I'm having this particular method as a final. I'm having this particular method as a final. Okay. So I mean, I cannot override this particular method. So see, this is final method. So it is not allowed me to override this particular method, but it doesn't mean this method is not inherited. This method is inherited. That's the reason I'm able to call here. Right. Why this is allowed me to call here? Because this method is inherited already. This method is inherited. That means inheritance is happening here, but this method is final. This method is final, and because of that, I cannot override that particular method. So final method is having final. That means you are not allowed to override, but that particular method is inherited. So to confuse you guys, interviewer can ask this kind of question: is it possible, or is final method is inherited? So answer is yes. Your answer should be here yes.
Ajay, we
Okay.
are saying that for security purpose, we are doing the final keyword, using the final keyword. Again,
Right.
if we are extending the same method in the child class,
Mhm.
then how it secured means.
Right. So see, every method is serving for the different purpose. Right. So for example, let's say this print method is available. Okay. My purpose is that anyone can access this particular method, or child class can access this particular method, but child class
Yeah.
should not do the modifications.
Oh,
Child class should not do the modification. Modification in terms of, for example, here I'm saying like, here I'm saying like, for example, this is account class, and here I'm saying like, for example, there is one method. Okay. So let's say print method is there. Okay. Print method, I make a final. Okay. And
mm,
tomorrow someone is came, and in print method, he just override that particular method. Okay. I haven't make that print method as a final method. And suppose, for example, someone override that particular print method, and through the print method, I'm having access to the other variables, right? So what they
yeah.
did, they just manipulate with your account balance through the print
Oh,
method. So print method serving the purpose like printing the account balance, or get account balance method is there, which is for the getting the account balance. But what I did, I got the access of this particular method. What I did, I just enhance that particular method in such a way where I can modify your balance as well. Okay. If
mhm.
I want to restrict this kind of activity, in that case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this particular method as a final.
Oh,
Okay. Now, second point on final keyword. Okay. So what they will ask, what is the blank uninitialized the final variable? What is the blank uninitialized final variable? What is the blank uninitialized final variable? Okay. So now see, in variable, in variable, we have seen. Okay. So we have seen this particular variable is there. Okay. If you are not giving the value for this particular variable, so this is called as the blank uninitialized final variable. So this is the final variable, and this particular variable is not having any value. In that case, it is called as the blank uninitialized final variable. But guys, see,
but
it is getting
final
some error.
variable, yeah,
It
final
is getting
variable must always initialize,
must always be initialized.
be
Okay,
initialized.
but it is possible to create the uninitialized final variable with the help of this block. What this block is called as
Instance block.
instance block. So purpose of instance block is
Yeah, initializing
initialize
the
the
value.
variable value, right? So I can say here a is equal to 10. So here I can initialize the value. Okay, inside the instance block only. Okay, so what is mean by final uninitialized instance variable or final uninitialized variable? Final uninitialized variable means the variable which is final, okay, but not having any value assigned.
Mhm.
Okay, so how to assign the value for this particular variable? So you have to use the which block here?
Instance
Instance
block.
block. Through the instance block, you can assign the value. Through the instance block, you can assign the value. This is clear
Yes.
Yes, sir.
because this can be asked at the time of interview. Okay, so do you know blank or uninitialized final variable? Blank or uninitialized final variable? Answer should be yes, I know. Okay, so if you are having any variable which is not which is not initialized, okay, or you are having one variable which is final and which is not initialized. Okay, so we can have that. How to initialize the value of this variable with the help of instance block, or inside the
Instance
constructor as
block.
well. You can assign the value. Okay, so with the help of instance block or constructor, both are fine. Okay, now next question will
Actually,
came.
sorry to interrupt. So this variable also we cannot change, right? Or modify.
This particular variable you cannot change. Okay, so for example, I'm having method m here, void m. Okay, and I'm saying like a is equal to, let's say, 20 now. Okay, it will not allow me to modify.
Okay, it's just the other way around there, right?
Right, right. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
other way.
Okay, okay.
So initialization happen from the user input also when we use the scanf kind of function.
Right. So you have to add that scanner statement here.
Okay.
Okay, in this particular block. Okay, in this particular block only, it will allow you to initialize this particular variable. So this is basically blank variable. If you want to assign the value, you have to take the help of this particular block. This is called as the instance block. Okay, instance block, we can do it. Okay, so now next question will came. What is the static blank final variable? Okay, so similarly, if I having one variable b, right? So I will say int, sorry, final int b, and I'm not initializing any value here, or I'm not initializing this particular variable. Sorry, this particular variable is final static int b, and I'm not initializing the value here, right? So how to initialize this value? So answer is simple. You can use the instance block, right? No, this particular variable you cannot initialize inside the instance block. For that, you have to use which block?
Static block.
You have to use the static
Static.
block. Okay, so inside the static block, I can say b is equal to, let's say, 30. It will work fine. Right. So what will happen if I'm say like b is equal to 30 here? B is equal to 30 here. It is giving the error. Why?
Because B is a static
Static is
variable.
meant.
So what happened? B is static variable. Then what will happen?
Static we
So you
will
have to
not able to
understand,
call it.
okay, in which
Static
way or
variable
which order this
only
block is going to execute.
stored by the static stuff only.
First of
First,
all,
it will write
um,
static.
as soon as class is load, this particular variable is going to get the memory,
Yes.
right? So once this is getting the memory, then your static block is going to execute. Sorry, very first, I mean, after that, this particular static variable is going to execute, right? And then find your instance block is going to execute, right? So that's the reason. Okay, as soon as class is loaded, okay, at same time, this particular variable should get the memory. This block is going to call when object is getting created, right? Remember,
Yes.
if you are not
Yes.
going to create the object, in that case, this block is not going to call, right? So this is the static variable. So as soon as class is loaded, it should get the memory as well as it should be initialized, right? So that's the reason we are adding it static block, right? So static block will always call as soon as your class is getting loaded inside the main memory, right? So if you are got this kind of variable, that is the blank uninitialized variable, so you have to initialize the value with the help of static block. It will work fine. Okay, you got all these three answer. So this kind of question will ask on the this particular topic. That is the final keyword. Okay. So any doubt in final or overall any doubt, if you have, you can ask. Okay. If you are not having doubt, so I just want to give one update to you guys. Okay. So tomorrow or maybe on Sunday, you will get one call. Okay. Um, from the script QA. Okay, so this is basically for the review purpose, right? So you have to give the honest review there. Okay, not like give the good reviews only. Okay, so you have to give the honest review there. This is just to improve quality of your teaching, right? Right. So the person who is going to get the review, he is not going to share the name. He will give the me general review, right? He's not going to say me like Vajra is said like this. Okay, so he will give the general review. These are the few comments that we got. So you have to work on these particular points. Right. So you'll get the one review call. So just give the honest reviews. Don't give the good reviews only. Okay. Okay, then fine.
Fine, sir.
Yeah.
But why we are doing so?
What? Review, right?
Yeah.
Because I am not getting, I mean, whether you're going getting all the concept, you're understanding all the things, or there might be possibility I'm doing something wrong. So you're not telling me. Okay. So I just want to get those points.
Oh,
Okay, so that I can improve myself.
good.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
night.
Good
Thanks.
Thank
night.
you,
Bye
sir.
bye.
Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.